intimacies between women often go backwards, beginning in revelations and ending in small talk. A romantic man often feels more uplifted with two women than with one. His love seems to hit the ideal mark somewhere between two different faces. Silences have a climax. When you have got to speak, the craft of the novelist does lie, first of all, in storytelling. Childish fantasy, like the sheath over the bud, not only protects but curbs the terrible budding spirit, protects not only innocence from the world, but the world from the power of innocence. It is not our exalted feelings, it is our sentiments that build the necessary home. Rich women live at such a distance from life that very often they never see their money. The queen, they say, for instance, never carries a purse. Characters are not created by writers. They pre-exist and have to be found. Everything is very quiet. The streets are never crowded, and the people one dislikes are out of town. I pity people who do not care for society. They are poorer for the oblation they do not make. Love of privacy, perhaps, because of the increasing exactions of society, has become in many people almost pathological. No, it is not only our fate but our business to lose innocence, and once we have lost that, it is futile to attempt a picnic in Eden. We desert those who desert us. We cannot afford to suffer. We must live how we can. Solitary and farouche people don't have relationships. They are quite unrelatable. If you and I were capable of being altogether house-trained and made jolly, we should be nicer people, but not writers. Some people are molded by their admirations, others by their hostilities. The silence of a shut park does not sound like the country silence. It is tense and confined. Don't you understand that all language is dead currency? How they keep on playing shop with it all the same. All my life I have said, whatever happens, there will always be tables and chairs, and what a mistake. The heart may think it knows better. The senses know that absence blots people out. We really have no absent friends. For people who live on expectations, to face up to their realization is something of an ordeal. There is no doubt that sorrow brings one down. In the world, the aristocratic privilege of silence belongs, you soon find out, to only the happy state, or at least to the state when pain keeps within bounds. The novelist's, any writer's, object is to whittle down his meaning to the exactest and finest possible point. What, of course, is fatal is when he does not know what he does mean. He has no point to sharpen. Disappointment tears the bearable film of life. Dialogue in fiction is what characters do to one another. Only in a house where one has learnt to be lonely does one have this solicitude for things, one's relation to them. The daily seeing or touching begins to become love, and to lay one open to pain. Have not all poetic truths been already stated? The essence of a poetic truth is that no statement of it can be final. In real life, everything is diluted. In the novel, everything is condensed. Memory must be patchy. What is more alarming is its face-savingness. Something in one shrinks from catching it out, unique to oneself, one's claim to identity. It implicates one's identity in its fibbing. Expectations are the most perilous form of dream, and when dreams do realize themselves, it is in the waking world. The difference is subtly but often painfully felt. Ghosts seem harder to please than we are. It is as though they haunted for haunting's sake, much as we relive, brood, and smolder over our pasts, habit of which passion must be wary. May all the same be the sweetest part of love. Dialogue should convey a sense of spontaneity, but eliminate the repetitiveness of real talk. By the rules of fiction, with which life, to be credible, must comply, he was as a character impossible. Each time they met, for instance, he showed no shred or trace of having been continuous since they last met. Style is the thing that's always a bit phony, and at the same time you cannot write without style. On the subject of dress, almost no one, for one or another reason, feels truly indifferent if their own clothes do not concern them, somebody else's do. The importance to the writer of first writing must be out of all proportion of the actual value of what is written. Habit is not mere subjugation. It is a tender tie when one remembers. Habit it seems to have been happiness. The best that an individual can do is to concentrate on what he or she can do in the course of a burning effort to do it better. Elizabeth Dorothea Cole Bowen, 7 June 1899 February 22, 1973, at 15 Herbert Place in Dublin, daughter of barrister Henry Charles Cole Bowen 186–1930, who succeeded his father as head of their Irish gentry family traced back to the late 1500s of Welsh origin, and Florence Isabella Pomeroy died 1912, daughter of Henry Fitzgeorge Pomeroy Colley of Mount Temple, Clontarf, Dublin, grandson of the 4th Viscount Harberton. Florence Bowen's mother was granddaughter of the 4th Viscount Powerscourt. Elizabeth Bowen was baptized in the nearby St. Stephen's Church on Upper Mount Street. Her parents later brought her to her father's family home, Bowen's Court at Fairhea, near Kildorrery, County Cork, where she spent her summers. Among her enduring childhood friends were the artists Mamie Jellett and Sylvia Cook Collis. When her father became mentally ill in 1907, she and her mother moved to England, eventually settling in Hythe. After her mother died in September 1912, Bowen was brought up by her aunts. Her father remarried in 1918. She was educated at Down House School under the headship of Olive Willis. After some time at art school in London, she decided that her talent lay in writing. She mixed with the Bloomsbury Group, becoming good friends with Rose Macaulay, who helped her seek a publisher for her first book, a collection of short stories titled Encounters 19–3. Bowen was an Irish-British novelist and short story writer notable for her books about the Big House of Irish landed Protestants, as well her fiction about life in wartime London. In 1977, Victoria Glendinning published the first biography of Elizabeth Bowen. In 2009, Glendinning published a book about the relationship between Charles Ritchie and Bowen, based on his diaries and her letters to him. In 2012, English Heritage marked Bowen's Regent's Park home at Clarence Terrace with a blue plaque. A blue plaque was unveiled October 19, 2014, to mark Bowen's residence at the Coach House, the Croft, Headington, from 1925 to 1935.